In order to have a better present, you need to have a bigger future. Unfortunately, it's very difficult to think about the future today because of the economy, the government, the corporations. We don't know what's coming and what's happening. My name is LeFave, and I'm a growth coach. And today I'm going to be sharing something with you that's going to blow your mind because it's about getting caught in different feedback loops. And there's something called the victim loop. And if you get caught in it, it's very difficult to get out. It's like being caught in a bog. You just can't get out. It's so muddy and so thick and so sticky, you just don't know how to get out. So what you're seeing on screen here is a blank slate. I'm going to be filling this in so that you can see exactly what the victim loop looks like and how you can avoid it and get into accountability and live with intention. So let's go ahead and share my screen, and I will take you through this step by step so that you recognize when you get caught in the victim loop, and then that way you can get out of it. So let's open this up. All right. So the first thing you want to recognize is that there is a victim loop and there is an accountability loop. So this is the victim loop. The victim loop is at the base, and there's certain core characteristics about the victim loop. And this victim loop is where we do things consistently, where we ignore things, we ignore the problems in our lives and we ignore the people in our lives, and we just hope that they will go away. And then we deny that we have a problem, or we deny that there's a big issue, or that we're getting caught in this type of situation and we don't know what to do. So we deny it, and because we don't want to deal with it, we also blame, and then we also rationalize. So we start rationalizing with ourselves and telling ourselves, oh, it's not so bad. It's not, it could be worse. And meanwhile, it's getting worse day by day. And we also resist. We resist by convincing others and ourselves that this is going to be something that's temporary or can be, fixed easily. And so we're resisting, and we think that, if we just continue down the same path, things will change. And we're also hiding. So we hide, resist, rationalize, blame, deny, ignore. These are the things that people do that are victims. And you probably know people like this, and you might even realize that, hey, you know what, sometimes you do blame and ignore things and deny and you complain, and so you're caught in the victim loop. This is a feedback loop, and you don't want to get caught in it. Instead, you want to move into what's called accountability. So you want to move into accountability, and you want to move into the accountability loop. And once you get into the accountability loop, guess what? You have more power. This is where you have power. If you don't want to be in pain, then you have to move into the accountability loop and have power. So what are the core characteristics of somebody that has power and that is in accountability? Well, first of all, they do the opposite of what somebody who is in the victim loop. They recognize where they are. They recognize that they have an issue. They own the situation. They own their problems. They don't blame anybody. They also forgive. So they forgive and forget. They let the things in the past, the people in the past, they let them go. They let those old patterns and old pains go. They don't hang on to them. And they do more self-examining. So anybody who does any form of self-examining, they will move into accountability. They will realize that they have more power and they can control, and they have to do some self-examining. And you might be watching some YouTube videos, or you might be listening to an audiobook and learning something, like Ellen Langer's book, Counterclockwise, amazing book, and I referenced it here, so you should definitely grab it and read it. That's an awesome book. That's an eye-opener. And so these people self-examine, they learn, just like we were saying just now. You can learn by grabbing Ellen Langer's book or anybody else's book that will help you to move out of the victim loop and into accountability and be stronger. And they also take action. So they're learning, taking action, self-examining, they're owning, they're taking responsibility, they're owning the situation, and they are moving forward. They are taking consistent action and doing something about it. And guess what? When you shift from the victim loop to accountability, you move into intention. You become an intentional being, and now you have more power. You have more control. You have power to take control over the situations in your life, and you don't get caught. So the key thing about this presentation and this little workshop here is that you have to recognize when you get caught in this victim loop. And when you're in it, you know it. You know that you're resisting, you're rationalizing, you're blaming, you're denying, you're doing all these things here. You're ignoring, you're hiding, you're resisting, you're rationalizing. And as you do these things, it's a feedback loop. And you keep repeating them over and over again without even noticing it. And then eventually people will support you on this. You'll get a whole team of people that are going to support you, your family and your friends, and even people that you don't know. You tell them about your bad situation and they say, oh yeah, that's horrible. And then they tell you about theirs. And then you're in agreement basically that you're stuck in a victim loop and you cannot get out. And so it doesn't pay off to stay in the victim loop. There's nothing of value in this loop. Once you get in it, you need to get out. And you can't be partially in this victim loop and expect to be in the accountability loop over here. You cannot. You cannot be in both loops at the same time. It's either you're in one or the other. It's like driving a car down the road in an ice storm. You are going in the ditch unless you have chains on your tires. So you need to get out of the victim loop and stay in the accountability loop. Any type of actions in the victim loop means you're a victim. That's it. An ounce of it. That's it. Just 1%, and you are now a victim. And then you will act like a victim, and then you'll do what psychologists call is you'll go out to the world and you'll confirm it. It's confirmation bias. You'll confirm it by seeing what other people are doing. You watch the media, the news, and it'll keep confirming your victimhood. And even the legal system doesn't even, it doesn't help you any better. They even use the word victim. Who's the victim? And so it's all about who's at fault, who's to blame. And you know that there's always going to be somebody to blame in the legal system, but you don't need to believe what they're saying, and you don't need to reenact what they're suggesting. You don't need to go after people. All you need to do is know that you want to be in accountability, you want to have power, and you want to hold your power and stay in power and live with intention. When you live with intention, you have power. You will no longer be in pain, you'll no longer be stuck in this victim loop, and you'll keep your power and you will stay stronger. So that's exactly what you need to do, is pay attention. Are you stuck in this victim loop? Are you getting caught here? And are you stuck? And have you been repeating patterns that are keeping you in a victim loop? And if you need to learn ways to get out of it, and you want to study a great book, study Ellen Langer's book, Counterclockwise, awesome book, and you will hear what a psychologist has to say and all her tests and studies, and you will realize how you can get outside and get outside of this victim loop and get into the accountability loop. So this is a critical factor here. You need to recognize what you need to do to get into accountability. And just notice this. You can take a screenshot of this, but you know what? Just recognize this and even do something a little extra. This is a little bonus. Print this and put this on your fridge. If you want a copy of this, just send me a direct message. I'd be happy to send you a copy. But here's the thing. Print it and put it on your fridge. When you have it on your fridge, guess what? You're hanging around with your family and you hear them blaming, rationalizing, and denying, ignoring, and acting out like a victim. And all you have to do is, gently and subtly, ask them, say, hey, where are you? Are you up here over in accountability? Are you up in the top, or you're in the bottom? Are you playing the victim? And just help them self-realize, self-actualize and self-examine. And then they will realize that they are acting like a victim and that they want to be in accountability. Why? Because that's where power is. So I just wanted to share this little insight with you. Take this, put it to work, print it off, put it in your fridge, put it someplace where you can see it and you can talk about it with your family, or if you have a business, with your team, and ask them questions, difficult questions sometimes. Where are they? And then once they start self-examining and realizing they are not in power and in control, then they're going to feel bad and want to do something about it and live with intention instead. And get out of this victim loop and get into the accountability loop. So anyway, like I said, if you want a copy of this, just send me a DM and a direct message, and I'll be happy to give that to you. And as always, thanks for watching. And listen, put this into action. It's going to make a huge difference in your life and the people's lives that are around you. All right, thanks for watching. This is Dan LeFave. Bye for now.